Once upon a time, in the vibrant and musical city of New Orleans, there lived a girl named Tiana. Tiana was a bright and hard-working young woman with a big dream. Ever since she was a little girl, she dreamed of opening her very own restaurant, a place where people could come together to enjoy delicious food, just like the meals her father used to cook. Tiana's father had always told her that dreams are special, but they take a lot of hard work. So Tiana worked tirelessly every day, holding down 2 jobs as a waitress, saving every penny she earned to make her dream come true. Tiana was so busy working that she didn't have much time for fun or to spend with her friends. She would often watch as others laughed and danced, but she stayed focused on her goal. Though she sometimes felt lonely, Tiana never gave up. She believed that if she worked hard enough, one day she would open the doors to her very own restaurant, where everyone could enjoy the flavors of New Orleans. In the same city, across the bustling streets filled with music and celebration, there was a prince named Naveen who came from a faraway land called Maldonia. Prince Naveen was handsome and charming, but he wasn't like most princes. Instead of being responsible, he loved to spend his time dancing, playing music, and having fun. Naveen was always looking for the next adventure and didn't care much about working or being responsible. But when Naveen's parents saw how careless he was with money, they decided to stop giving him any. So Naveen came to New Orleans, hoping to find excitement, but also to find someone rich to marry so he could continue living his carefree life. However, Prince Naveen's carefree attitude got him into big trouble. While exploring the city, he met a sly and sneaky man named Dr. Facilier. Also known as the Shadow Man, Dr. Facilier was a magician who used dark and mysterious voodoo magic to trick people and get what he wanted. Seeing Naveen as an easy target, Dr. Facilier tricked the prince into making a deal, but instead of helping him, Dr. Facilier turned Prince Naveen into a tiny green frog. Now, Prince Naveen was stuck as a frog, hopping around New Orleans, desperately looking for a way to become human again. He had heard stories about how a princess's kiss could break a spell, so he began searching for a princess who could help him. Naveen hopped his way through the city, feeling a bit scared and very small in this big, bustling world. Meanwhile, Tiana's best friend, Charlotte, who was very rich and spoiled, was throwing a grand ball at her mansion. Charlotte had always dreamed of marrying a prince, and she was thrilled to hear that a real prince, Prince Naveen, was visiting New Orleans. Charlotte invited Tiana to the ball and even dressed her in a beautiful, sparkling gown so she could look like a princess too. Tiana felt a bit out of place at the fancy party, but she was happy to help Charlotte, who had always been kind to her. At the ball, Prince Naveen, still in his frog form, saw Tiana in her beautiful dress and thought she was a real princess. He hopped over to her and begged her for a kiss, explaining that it was the only way to turn him back into a prince. Tiana was shocked to see a talking frog and didn't want to kiss him at first. But Naveen promised to help her with her dream of opening a restaurant if she helped him. So Tiana, with a bit of hesitation, closed her eyes and kissed the frog. But instead of turning Naveen back into a prince, the kiss had an unexpected effect. Tiana turned into a frog too. Now both Tiana and Naveen were small green frogs, hopping around and trying to figure out what to do next. They were no longer in the grand ballroom but were now on a wild adventure through the city and into the dark, mysterious bayou. As frogs, Tiana and Naveen found themselves in the middle of a big, wild swamp. They didn't know how to navigate this new, strange world, but soon they met some friendly creatures who were ready to help. First, they met Louis, a giant alligator who loved to play the trumpet and dreamed of becoming a famous jazz musician. Louis was full of energy and had a big heart, even though he was a bit clumsy. Then they met Ray, a tiny glowing firefly who was always cheerful and in love with a star he called Evangeline. Ray guided them through the bayou with his bright light and his love for life. Together, Tiana, Naveen, Lewis, and Ray set off on an exciting adventure to find Mama Od, a wise old voodoo priestess who lived deep in the swamp. They hoped Mama Od could use her magic to turn Tiana and Naveen back into humans. As they traveled through the swamp, Tiana and Naveen started to learn important lessons about life. Tiana realized that while hard work is important, it's also important to have fun and enjoy life's little moments. Naveen, on the other hand, began to understand the value of being responsible and caring for others, something he had never thought about before. When they finally reached Mama Od, she welcomed them with her bright smile and playful attitude. Mama Od was wise and kind, and she taught Tiana and Naveen that sometimes what you want isn't always what you need. She told them that Naveen needed to kiss a real princess before midnight to break the spell, but she also hinted that they might already have everything they truly needed. Tiana and Naveen realized that the only real princess nearby was Charlotte, who was crowned the Mardi Gras queen and was considered a princess for the day. The group rushed back to New Orleans, but Dr. Facilier was not finished with his tricks. He tried to stop them with his dark magic, but Tiana was brave and clever. She managed to break Dr. Facilier's magical amulet, which was the source of his power, and without it, his evil plans crumbled. As the clock ticked closer to midnight, Naveen and Tiana found themselves back in the middle of the grand ball. They looked at each other and realized something very special. They had fallen in love. Even though they were still frogs, they knew that their love was more important than any spell. They kissed, not because they wanted to break the curse, but because they truly cared for each other. And at that very moment, magic filled the air. Their love was so strong that it broke the spell, and Tiana and Naveen turned back into humans. Tiana's dream finally came true, but in a way she had never expected. She and Naveen got married, and with the help of their friends, they opened Tiana's Palace, a beautiful and lively restaurant where people from all over came to enjoy Tiana's delicious cooking and listen to Naveen's music. The restaurant was filled with laughter, music, and the joyful sounds of people coming together to share a meal. Tiana learned that while working hard for your dreams is important, love, friendship, and enjoying the journey are just as important. And so, Tiana and Naveen lived happily ever after, in a place where their dreams really did come true. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more magic.